Hi there, I'm Haleigh.
And I'm Jonny.
And you're listening to Jonny, Haleigh, Day of
Fun. Who do we have on today?
I don't know. Let's dive in and find out. Well, hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of the Day of Fun podcast. I'm your host, Haleigh, here with my brother, Jonny, and today we are joined by Marky Z and Mike, who are going to talk to us about their new upcoming albums they've been working on. Marky Z is got the Rockin' House podcast that you host. You're also part of Anointed Prophecy and Night's Reign, a Dio tribute band. You have got a lot of things going on, my friend.
Sure.
Hello, how are you?
Yeah, I keep myself busy. You know,
yeah, you
the only
sure
way
do.
to do things.
I dig it. Well, tell us about your current projects that you have going on. You've got an album coming up. Tell us about
Let's
it.
start with that because that's under the label 𝓕𝓻𝓪𝓷𝓴𝓲'𝓼 Talent Entertainment in the UK and distributed by AMG Sony Distribution. I have an album releasing June 21st, which is in 2 weeks. A full-length album, 11 songs. It's called Lights in the Sky, which is that song that, you know, Rick Warner, he introduced me to you, Haleigh, to have this interview. And that was written from what I experienced with the CE5 meeting in Valley Forge Park several years back, actually in July.
It's coming up on an anniversary then, huh?
Yep. So Lights in the Sky was inspired, that song, based on my experience. And Rick was very intrigued by that. He's seen the footage of it. I have footage of it. And there's no denying it's not a plane. It's an unidentified flying object. That is not something we create. So it's pretty awesome. Rick was always intrigued by that. And that inspired me to the song Lights in the Sky. So I decided to name the album Lights in the Sky. I sent you the album cover. I sent you the links where everybody can go and pre-save it and order the album digitally right now. It's on all platforms like everybody else. And I'm very excited that AMG Sony is distributing it for me through my record label, 𝓕𝓻𝓪𝓷𝓴𝓲 Talent Entertainment. So, you know, kudos to Phil Taylor, my CEO, and Dana Lyons, the vice president of the label, in everything they've done and what they've been doing for all of us artists on the label.
I love it. Very cool. That's awesome. So now, and you said your friend Mike over here has been helping you with some lyrics and writing.
Now, that's another project. That starts with Anthony Albanese, okay? That also works with the record label I'm involved with on a project called the 𝓕𝓻𝓪𝓷𝓴𝓲 project. And that is for supporting mental awareness of people with mental illness. And we're very excited to be part of that. I'm very excited to put together an amazing team of musicians that I don't want to reveal these things yet until the music's out. But I have amazing musicians that are working with us. Joe Riley being one that's also from my label. He's an amazing guitar player. I've been featured in Guitar World magazine 3 times in full-page articles. He has been playing solos on this 𝓕𝓻𝓪𝓷𝓴𝓲 project album. Mike 𝓕𝓻𝓪 here, which I'll introduce you in a minute, has been, you know, like my partner in crime, helping write lyrics, and I'm writing the music to it, kind of like a Bernie Taupin and Elton John deal. He gives me the lyrics, and I write the music, and it's working amazingly. Okay, and I'm very happy to have Mike involved with this. I've known him for over 30 years. He's always supported me in everything I've done musically, no matter what it was. So it's a real pleasure to have him involved with this, with the music of what I've been doing and what I'm creating. Then I got another project, Judea, which is also part of the 𝓕𝓻𝓪𝓷𝓴𝓲 project, which involves my girlfriend, my soulmate, and she's a singer, and she's been writing lyrics, and I've been putting music and composing and producing her. So yes, I got a lot going on besides the Dio, which is Night's Reign, and we do a lot of shows. We're moving into theaters and bigger places to perform and headlining. So that's moving good too. We're going to be heading to New York. We're working on getting some big shows in New York, where we're going to do some traveling with some, you know, other connections I have up that way. And that's pretty much what's going on, which is a lot. Of course, I got another project I'm working on with Jonny from the Dio tribute called 𝓲𝓸𝓭𝓬𝓪, which is all the music he does. And he asked me to come on board and play bass and record the album with him. So yeah, I got a lot going on.
I love it. You sound busy, but that's super awesome. I think that's great. And it just good for you for keeping up with all of it and having all that, you know, just passion and excitement to keep rolling with it. I think that's pretty awesome. And
Yeah.
so now we were going to ask you too about, I know you got some other like projects and stuff, but like for both of you, we do kind of like to get to know our guests a little bit.
Yeah.
Sure.
We'd like to know a little bit about like what were some of your influences to get into the music industry, whether it was like,
I'm probably going to give you what 85% of people say. Okay. It's Kiss. When I was 7 years old, I heard them and it was over. Okay. I wanted to do that. Okay. And I've been doing it seriously ever since I was 15 years old. Going to be 58 September 7th. I'm still doing it. So I don't stop. I love it. It's my passion. I do it because I love it. And what makes me feel the best out of anything is when people can appreciate all the hard work you put into your music and they love it too. There's no greater feeling than that. I don't care if it's 100,000 people or it's 50 people. That feeling is just amazing because they love all the work and hard blood, sweat, and tears you put into that, and every sacrifice that you might have made for that to happen, and they love it. And that's no better feeling than that. Not even money can really be a better feeling than that. You know?
Yeah. Well, like I'm a drummer and a guitar player. I picked up guitar like pretty recently. I played since I was 15, but I was self-taught, so I played wrong. But my guitar teacher, he would. Do you guys know who Steve Stein is from Guitar Zoom? Guitar Zoom. He's one of those the internet dudes or whatever. He lives in a community not far from here.
Oh,
and
cool, man.
He taught my guitar player how to play guitar, so I kind of learned from his curriculum. Right. And then drums I kind of just picked up since I was like 7 years old. I just kind of started banging on stuff when I was 7 years old, and I'm a self-taught drummer. If you don't love it, you're not going to be a drummer. You know what I mean? Like if you have to teach yourself. So yeah, it's.
Well, John, great to meet you, by the way. For the first time.
It's nice to meet you guys.
Thanks for having me on your show.
Yeah.
Speaking of drummer, let's move into that. I've got an amazing drummer that's been working on the '11 project and 𝓕𝓻𝓪𝓷𝓴𝓲 along with 𝓕𝓻𝓪𝓷𝓴𝓲. He's from a band called Hit the Ground Running. I don't know if you guys might have heard of them. They were kind of big back in the 80s, late 80s, and after 30 years, come back slamming with 2 new albums. And I've got the drummer, Jimmy Catone, which I'm so blessed and so honored to have him playing drums on both these projects. Okay, amazing. Yeah. I've got amazing musicians, top of the line, working with me on these projects, and they want to because they're loving what they're hearing and their passion is right in there. I'm telling you, I can't wait till you guys hear with these songs and these projects. Now, I want to bring on Mike 𝓕𝓻𝓪𝓷𝓴 here, who's been working with lyrics. And, you know, he's also a drummer, but he hasn't been doing drums for a long time, as he used to play in a band, 𝓕𝓻𝓪𝓷𝓴𝓲, on several other bands. Back a long time ago, what, 25 years, Mikey?
Yeah, I did it for 25 years. And, you know, it was very interesting, you know, starting out as a new guy out of high school, 17 years old, and then going on and on and on. And it was very educational, if you will. Yeah. And being in like my friend Bob, he was a big Kiss fan. He moved out to California. I stayed behind. Well, we were called 𝓕𝓻𝓪𝓷𝓴𝓲. I used to wear like war paint, and we used to make our own costumes along with like the heavy rock and roll with a punk mix in there.
Very
it was
fun.
A lot of fun, really.
Yeah.
You know, so I used to go down to the cheesesteak shop in Philly after a gig about 3:30, 4 o'clock in the morning, like with the makeup running down and my horns and my costume.
You had
I'll never forget that the lady at Gino's Steaks, she just took like one look at me and she goes, "Okay, what do you want?" You know what I mean? I was the only one there at 4 o'clock in the morning.
Pretty much.
You know,
you gotta also understand that Mike is 6'7".
Yeah.
Jesus.
Big tall dude of the heavy metal. He's like a walking billboard for metal.
Yeah. You're like
all right. So
you're like a Chuck Billy.
Like that dressed at 3 o'clock in the morning, 3:30. You're gonna be like, well, I don't know, man. You know.
What store did you come from? You know.
Yep.
I mean, at that point, what do? You got to just feed him, and that's all you can do.
Yeah.
Here, take it, go.
Yeah, but Mike's one of the nicest guys you ever want to meet. Believe me on that. I've known him for over 30 years. He's been nothing but good to me. I was in a situation, I'm not going to get into the details of it, but he helped me a great deal so I could continue my music journey. And then never even thought that I could bring Mike involved in this in some way, since he retired from drumming. And he had another talent. He realized that he had lyrics. He could write lyrics and really come up with really good lyrics. And he started writing this stuff. And I'm like, dude, this is some good stuff. Let me see what I could do with this. And then before you know it, one thing led to another. And we're working on these projects now for several months, going on close to 6 months now.
I was gonna say, because you and I started
about
talking.
Ready to happen.
You've been working on this all year. When we first started talking, you were already rolling with this stuff.
Well, this project here, only been about 6 months or so. That's it. As far as the album with Anointed Prophecy, yes, that's been going on for almost a year and a half. I released an EP, by the way, which is right here. This has already been released. Okay.
Nice.
Okay.
And this is called Anointed Prophecy. It's the first one. I'm very proud of this. As you see, it's through my label, AMG, Sony, Distribution, and 𝓕𝓻𝓪𝓷𝓴𝓲'𝓼. There are the 4 tracks. There's the CD.
Sorry, what's the first song? What's that first song? The first song. I was reading the song names.
Oh, I'm sorry. Well, the songs are When Demons Come Out, which is a video officially out for that on YouTube. Walk in the Light, King of All Things, which I've also featured a guest singer who was a national act that opened with Grim Reaper, played a few shows with Judas Priest and Brittany Fox. And I had him do a version singing King of All Things. Phenomenal. He's like having Michael Swedish Striper or Rob Alford. He plays in Metal Gods, which is a Judas Priest tribute band. He's freaking amazing. Okay. And The Man with No Shadow. And then, this is the CD I did. I'm very proud of this. My very first EP that I did during the pandemic. And I am releasing on the 21st with this project right here, the official 11-song full-length CD, Lights in the Sky. So I'm excited.
Love it. Badass.
And I sent you, Haleigh, the link and all the information where people could pre-save it and order it now.
Yep, it'll all be in the link below for people to go check it out and hit up the links. That's really very cool, and I love it. Again, and that's so fun to me that like Mike, you started out in drumming and you kind of haven't been doing that, but that you find another way to like work in a different way to be a part of the music. And I think Marky Z, super cool of you to like bring him in on the project and like keep that creativity going in whatever way is like the the new way that it's the right way to do it.
Well, I'd like to also talk about and touch upon what we consider this 11/11 music. It's spiritual music.
Very good. Yeah, positive.
If you notice, the album we're going to be putting out with this 11 songs, and it's 11/11, not 11 written out 11. It's the clock that you see them double
11,
digits,
11,
triple digits all the time, which is supposed to be angels connecting with you. Well, we came up with this based on our experiences during this whole experience of creating this project, and how all these things started falling into place so quick and insane. We know it's of a spiritual realm, God, a higher power, without a doubt in our minds, making all this happen. I have to give all the glory to it because none of this could be done. I mean, this is unbelievable. Mike will be a testament to all this because he's seen it and watched it. And that's how we came up with 11/11 as the name of the project.
When he moved in with me, uncanny. It's uncanny. Every time we look at the clock, we started seeing the numerical numbers: 11/11, 222, 444, and it's it was every day, and it's still like this every day. Just before we came on your show today, we looked at the clock: 11/11. It's like ordained.
It was just 11/11 Central Time here when you were started talking about it.
There you go. My point exactly.
The phenomenon is everybody has seen the numbers 11/11. It's a common thing, and
we have a song called it.
And we looked at it, let's name the band 11/11. It's something that everybody can relate to. Everybody has seen when you'll be busy reading or writing something, and you just happen to look at the clock, and there it is: 11/11, 222, 1, 2, 3, 4. These numerical numbers. So we look at it from like an angelical, higher powers.
It is.
Getting that nod from the universe, right? Like,
yes.
Hey, rock and roll, man, keep going.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's no question about it. There's definitely some major divine force that's been behind this whole thing.
Exactly.
The way things been rolling as fast as it is, I don't know anybody can put out 11 songs and an EP of 4 songs with another project, all within a time of less than a year. And we're going to be doing that. And that's insanity.
Yeah.
I mean, that's only a higher power can make that happen. And I'm not talking about like 3-chord songs. I'm talking about keyboards. I don't even play keyboards, okay? And I started, Mike had a keyboard to make a long story short.
My neighbor gave it to me, and I just hung on to it.
And he gave it to me.
I said, I got a keyboard. Do you know how to use one of these?
I said, no, I dabble with it. And then before you know it, I started writing all these keyboard parts as good as what Dio's keyboard player will be doing. Michael will attest to that.
Yeah.
And they're all in these songs. And I've only been playing 4 months. That's it. 5 months maybe on a keyboard.
It's fun.
Oh,
I love it. No, that is so super exciting. I dig it. Like, and you got it from your neighbor. Isn't that just perfect? Like,
she was gonna throw it out, and she goes, "Hey, I got this keyboard. Would you like to have it?" I said, "Absolutely. Thank you very much."
But here's something to blow your mind more about Michael. I didn't have any guitars. I play bass. Okay. Yeah. So I'm cleaning out his closet while I'm helping him clean up his apartment here because he needs a lot of help here. And I find his guitars full of dust. Okay? Guitars full of dust. You couldn't even see the color.
Yeah.
I cleaned them all the frig up. I put brand new strings on it. They play beautifully. And those are the guitars I've been recording my songs with. And I'm telling you, they sound unbelievable.
Yeah.
Well, but like that's why you're a pack rat. You had to be a pack rat, so you'd have those guitars and that, and the instruments.
Well, I was gonna say, speaking of guitars, what was your first guitar? I'll ask that for both of you. What was your first guitar you
My first guitar? I can tell you what that was. It was a freaking Memphis Les Paul copy.
Okay.
I got it for $75 used. And then I got a Kalamazoo amp, which was back from Michigan. Kalamazoo made these amps back in the 60s, 50s, and all that. And I got the whole deal, 75 and 50 for the amp. I was excited. I was 15 years old. My first electric guitar and amp and shit. I was like, yeah, And then I got my first distortion pedal, and then forget it. I thought I was like, yeah,
I love it.
I learned Iron Man and basic crap, and I thought, and that's that started for me,
Yeah. What about you, Mike?
Okay, what was the question again?
What was your first guitar?
Oh, I remember I was 15 years old, and there was this kid in the neighborhood. Don't know the name of the guitar, but it was a red guitar. And I was so enthralled with Jimi Hendrix a lot, and bands of the late 60s. And I wanted to play, guitar. All the while I'm learning how to play guitar, my kid brother Richie has his drum set downstairs. Not only that, he was a skater back then. He used to ride a skateboard and build his own little launch ramps and stuff and everything. Okay. So he'd be out with his skateboard friends, and I would sneak down in the basement and start playing the drums. So I could never really grasp the concept of guitar and the notes and everything. Next thing you know, I'm starting to play like my first song that I learned was a Beatles song. She's So Heavy. And that song has 2 parts to it. Now I was just doing the one part, like the drum solo, what Ringo Starr does, and I'm like, oh my god, I'm actually doing this, and it was a lot of fun. And as time went on, after I graduated high school, I set out on my musical career, and I was in like 5 different punk bands at the time. I mean, and there was a time that I was in 3 bands. I had no time to have a regular job. What I mean? It was just, I was just playing and playing and playing so much. And so, I gravitated to the drums. Not only that, my father has been in a band. He was in a band for 30 years, a band called Frequency. So growing up with that as a little kid, and watching his equipment while going in and out of places on the weekend, it's like a long legacy of music.
I love that.
My mom,
so
she
cool.
got to see Hendrix, The Doors, Janis Joplin, Ozzy. She hung out with Ozzy. A roadie come up, slapped a backstage pass on her, and said, "You go up there and go see him." They had everybody got to meet Ozzy, but my mom got to hang out with Ozzy.
Yeah.
Okay, it's the crown jewel in our family lineage.
Oh, and, I love that.
Yeah. she had champagne with Ozzy sitting on the couch. They had strawberries together. Ozzy kissed her on the cheek. And my mom, she told me all about it. She's like, it was just like sitting with an old friend, just because like she seen Sabbath back in the early 70s before I was born. I was born in 75. And it was just, they talked about the kids and Sharon and just everyday stuff. While everybody else was, in the beginning, when Ozzy signed autographs, jumping all over him. But Ozzy and her, he said, stay here. I want to hang out with you, So it was like for a good half hour. And they mingled, It was like, I remember my mom coming home that night because I had to babysit my sister. Doing a No More Tears tour. And,
I love that song. I gotta go listen to some Ozzy now later, man. No More Tears.
Well, one of the musicians or frontmen that I've heard is very like relatable and very easy to talk to is King Diamond. I think he takes his time meeting his fans very like he knows how to relate to you on a level that you don't have to be nervous. You know what I mean?
Speaking of King, Snowy Shaw used to play drums for him, and I interviewed him on my show. What a nice guy he was from Sweden. That area. Snowy was great, man. And he played on what was that freaking album? It was The Eye, I think, was the album he was on as a drummer. And I think he toured with Conspiracy Tour.
He
toured with, man.
Yeah, as far as my guitar playing and stuff, I'm a really big King Diamond Merciful Fate.
Oh, yeah, dude, I remember when that stuff came out, man. I remember all these.
That predates me a little bit. I'm only 35, but like as far as guitar playing, my education came from the early 80s. That's when my teacher learned. So it's like that's what they learned.
As far as music, like you're saying about my first guitar and all that and how I started. I'm self-taught. I taught myself how to do everything, and I'm also left-handed. And at the time, to buy left-handed guitars, it was $300 more. And I'm like, you know what? I'm going to teach myself to play right-handed, so I ain't got to pay the extra $300 to get a guitar. And I've been playing right-handed for 35 years, professional.
I think that's pretty great.
Well, that's how I play guitar. That's how I play bass. But if I go on a drum kit, I'll play left-handed, but I'll play it right. It's really weird, but that's how I do it.
I've noticed that with drummers. Like drummers, it's kind of like how you play guitar and how you play drums. It's kind of a coin flip because it's like your dominant hand on guitar, but like drums, you can kind of just however it feels right because you can put the hi-hat over here. You know what I mean? You don't have to have a cross.
Yeah,
I love playing the drums.
Me too, man.
I tell you, I living here on the East Coast, man. My famous line is, "It's like doing 95 down 95." The highway while sitting there rocking out, high tempo and everything,
I live in an apartment.
Better than anything.
I live in an apartment. I have a little electronic kit right in front of my desk. But
cool.
So, I mean, I hear a lot of tapping, so it's probably thinking tapping.
Yeah, right. I just want to reiterate on what we're talking about here with drums. It's been a fun ride, and it still is on this 1111 project because me and Mike, we got creative like Queen. And these bands, stuff like that, or Pink Floyd. Like, I created sounds with a microphone and a 𝓕𝓻𝓪𝓷𝓴𝓲 sounds like a clock ticking. Okay, because I timed the delay. We brought a gong into the freaking bedroom.
I have a gong.
Smashed it for one song that we wanted a gong in it.
For like the great explosion at the end of one of the songs.
Dude, there's one
that's so fun.
It's going to be on the album 1111 that Mike literally has swords. And he was clanging them back and forth, making it sound like battle. And I recorded it and added delay to it. And that's going to be in one of our songs called Victory Will Go.
That's correct. That's the one. It's about like ancient battle or
Amplified Wars.
Amplified Wars. That's it. Yeah, because we originally tried to get the battle effects off the phone. And it wasn't loud enough. So we're thinking, I said, yo, man, I got swords and battle axes and medieval weaponry on my wall. Let's give this a try. So we started clashing the steel, and he had the mic.
Man, grab one.
I'll
grab something for you to see. Man. He's got freaking swords in here. He's got the sword from freaking, what is it?
Conan the Barbarian.
Conan the Barbarian. He has the one from what was the other one? Braveheart.
Okay.
Oh man, rock and roll. Conan the Barbarian and some sharp objects.
Look at this.
Yep.
See that?
See?
Yeah.
Oh,
Here's
no
my
way.
battle axe.
There's a battle axe.
So when you
Okay.
play it together,
Sounds like
Yep.
fight. And he's going,
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I recorded with delay. Dude, I'm telling you, it's going to be
Mhm.
bad.
That's
It's
pretty
gonna be
rockin'
badass when
rad,
it's
yo.
done.
Y'all,
Yeah.
that's pretty
Yeah.
fun.
So it
You
is
guys-
fun because we're having fun experimenting.
Mhm.
And
Yeah.
it's working.
just like Floyd
Queen.
or Queen,
Yeah.
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, let's see what this does. Let's see what that does, you know?
Mhm.
Yes.
You
Well,
know?
I have
Yes.
I've been using a tongue drum. Do you know what a tongue drum is?
Tongue drum.
I can't, no.
It's a like a steel ball, and then it's got
Oh, that
tongue.
thing. That looks like a giant
Yep.
turtle shell.
Yep.
It looks
I've
like a
been
giant
using that
spaceship.
lately,
Yeah, they're
and
cool.
just putting
Yeah,
like
Rick
you can
Warner has 2 of them.
yeah, and then you put a contact mic on it, and then hook it up to a delay pedal,
very good, very good.
Dude,
and then
They make nice
just
sounds.
embrace
You know
the
what?
weird.
I love it. That's what I would do something like that. That's
Yeah,
what I do
it's-
with my
it's different.
keyboards, dude. And one of the
Mhm.
songs, I hooked the delay pedal up to my keyboards, and it
Mhm.
freaking made the keyboard go to the next level, having that delay hooked up with all the sounds that the keyboards had.
Yep.
It was very cool, man.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So awesome.
I just love that. Oh, sorry. Go ahead, John.
No, I was gonna ask you guys, like, speaking of albums that kind of just redefine genres and all that stuff, what was an album that changed your life? Like mine, I would say there's 2 albums. One was current. It was the new one of the New Testament albums. It was on.
I love Testament. Yeah.
The Titans of Creation. I thought that album was great. And then on top of that, one of the albums that changed my life was President of the United States of America, the self-titled, like with Peaches and all that stuff or whatever. I'm a kid in the 90s, so I like, as far as metal, like my drumming style is kind of like a new metal style.
Well, you know, I play in a tribute band to Dio, Black Sabbath and Rainbow.
Yep.
So one of my favorite is Dio. Okay, always inspiring to me. Megadeth, always inspiring to me. I always thought Dave Mustaine was a much better guitar player than Hammett, hands down.
Well,
He's
Peace
way more
Sells is a
creative,
great,
and he can
great
sing
song.
crazy riffs that he writes, and only so many people, other than Chuck Schuldiner, rest in peace from death, could do stuff like that. Okay, I'd say Kiss was the first one. You know, Kiss Alive. That first album, when I heard that and all the people screaming Kiss and things blowing up and all, I was like, whoa, yeah, who is this band? You know, 1975, I'm 7 years old and Kiss Alive on a tiny little phonograph, like, you know, a little freaking Sears Roebuck thing that has the lid on it, that you've got a little speaker in there. And I'm listening to the album on that with my friend who had the album when I was 7 years old. Okay.
Yeah.
Then, you know, later on in life, you know, other bands came in that I really got influenced by. With the metal thing, I think it was Master of Puppets is what did it for me. When I heard that with Metallica, I wasn't a huge fan until I heard Master of Puppets. That I heard that and I felt like I want to break crap. You know, like I want to break every time I hear this music. I'm like, Battery. I heard that. I was like, holy crap. You know, for the first time hearing that. And then you got Ozzy when he lays Black Sabbath and Randy Rhoads comes into the picture with the sound that nobody's ever heard. And he comes in with this sound for the first time. I'm in 10th grade and I'm at the lunch table and somebody, you know, we have box, we were able to have those freaking boom boxes and shit. And somebody's playing, it comes on the radio. And I hear Crazy Train for the first time and I'm like, who the hell is that guitar player? I'm like, I've never heard a sound like that in my life. And
a lot of people,
you know?
a lot of people look at Randy Rhoads and they don't understand how big of Randy Rhoads was at the time. There was not a lot of Randy Rhoads out there.
Then you got the 90s. Dimebag, hands down. That guy, forget it.
Pantera.
Yeah, Pantera.
Yep, Pantera.
Come on, man. That dude was insane, and he was a major Kiss fan.
Yeah.
He was a total Ace Frehley fan. Okay? Yeah. I mean, that's kind of hard to answer a question like that, but dude,
the albums.
The best way I can answer it is going through the motions of each one of these bands. And if we go to rock, I'd say AC/DC was a huge influence.
Yeah, for sure.
Simplistic riffs, and they were phenomenal when they came out.
And when MTV came out, I remember being a little kid, 1983, and Quiet Riot made their debut with "Bang Your Head," and then Twisted Sister. You know, we're not going to take it. I fell in love with this stuff like that. You know what I mean? And like Kevin DuBrow singing "Bang Your Head."
Yeah.
You know, I was like, I love this band.
Well, my all-time favorite album ever, and I had the 8-track, was Heaven and Hell for Black Sabbath.
Okay.
That album changed everything. I heard that. It was a different sound that Black Sabbath normally had, but it was a tight, killer metal sound with Dio. And I was like, whoa, you know, this is badass.
Yeah.
And that's when I wanted to follow what Dio's going to do next. And he comes out with his first album, Holy Diver, Forget It. And then Sacred Heart, Last in Line, Sacred Heart. Yeah, dude. Those are the pivoting things that started me and changed me. Influences, Randy Rhoads, as far as rhythm-wise, Jakey Lee, you know, and then you got bass influences. I mean, dude, it could go, the list could go on. You know, but my biggest bass influence, Steve Harris of Iron Maiden. I love
bass influence,
and Geezer Butler, one of my all-time favorite. You know, yeah.
Marty Souza, maybe.
Yeah. It's a lot to answer, you know. We get into drummers too, you know, you got John Bonham and Neil Peart, you know, my two favorite drummers.
I would say my style is a little bit newer. I would say Chris Adler from Lamb of God, the old Lamb of God.
Dude, I love Lamb of God.
So he was a huge influence on me. And then I would say probably Gene Hoglan.
Well, like Taylor Hawkins from Foo Fighters too.
Yeah, I was a huge.
Love Foo Fighters.
I like Testament style a lot, and then Gene Hoglan, and then Chuck Billy.
Yeah,
you're giving me big Chuck Billy vibes right now.
Charlie Benante, Anthrax.
Yeah. Oh, dude, he did a great job on the Pantera tour. I seen him twice.
Yeah.
Phenomenal with Zakk Wylde. Awesome.
Yeah.
You know, they were like
the
two best friends. You know that, right? You know, Dimebag literally said, if I'm going to have anybody replacing me and my brother, it'll be Zach and Charlie. That's what he said before he died.
Well, didn't he write, he wrote In This River for Dimebag.
Yeah, oh, yes.
Yep. Yeah.
Very heart-wrenching song.
So it's so cool how they did the tour because they had Dimebag and Vinny on the drum head.
Yeah.
Commemorating the whole thing to those brothers. And I thought that was class.
Yep. Yeah, it is.
And they had video footage of Pantera,
remember that?
Simon and Vinny.
Oh, I loved it.
You know, before the show kicked off, and it was really. I mean, the place was packed.
Yeah,
with Pantera heads.
It's hard.
Yep.
And my boy Jonny in the Dio tribute, just to go into the Pantera thing.
Yeah.
He used to always play Stratocaster guitars, the Charvels, and that. And then I turned him on to the freaking Dimebag guitars, custom signature. You know, Razorback and the Dymo Flame and all that. And then at first he was intimidated by the guitar, like, man, I got to get used to playing this thing. But then once he learned it, forget it. He went and got two more. Now he's got two Razorbacks with the lightning bolt on it. The other one's got the silver outline on it. And then he's got a Dymo Flame, which I got for him. And now he freaking says they're the best guitars he's ever played. He loves them. He can't. He kicks ass with those. And those are the guitars he plays with the tribute band.
Yeah, I was always I'm a Jackson guy. I've always been a Jackson guy. So like I have two USAs. I have an RR2 from '96, and then I bought a brand new soloist. One of those light blue soloists. I got one of those. Yeah, man. SL3s. Well, what I was gonna say, my favorite Dime guitar is the Dime Slime. I love that guitar. I've always loved it. Just the burst. Nice. I love the color of the guitar. It's got to catch me.
Speaking of Jackson, Joe Riley, I have two things to say about that. Joe Riley's Jackson endorsed, and I'll tell you how hard that is to be endorsed by Jackson guitars. And this dude's got 100 of them or more. You see this guy's studio, we're like, Mike,
there's 100 guitars in the photograph, man. Just in the photograph alone.
Yeah. Dude, he's Jackson endorsed. Okay, he loves Jackson and Ibanez. He's also an EMG pickup endorsed. Now the other thing, Jackson on my album that's releasing on June 21st. Majority of those songs are on the signature Adrian Smith Jackson guitar with the Eddie Van Halen Frankenstein custom pickup.
Okay.
All the rhythms you hear on that album, I played that guitar.
Very cool. I dig it.
Badass.
So
Okay,
cool.
a combination of Iron Maiden and Eddie Van Halen squeals. Yeah,
Pinch harmonics all over the place. For
dude.
sure.
I tell you what, man, I fell in love with that Jackson guitar.
Yeah.
I must have wrote at least 45 songs with it.
Yeah,
Oh,
for
I love
me. Yeah, for me, the soloist was the guitar for me. Like the
Nice.
Jackson solo, the SL3.
Nice.
I have a Japanese one from 08, and then I have
Nice.
an American one I just bought. But for me, the SL3, I don't think like for the
But then the
feel
Ibanez is another
strapped,
one.
it's great.
Yep. Then Ibanez is another one. I was always a big Ibanez.
Yep. Oh, G
I
series.
have Ibanez basses.
Mhm.
I've got a Kramer bass. That's my Black Sabbath one, and that gives the tone like Geezer almost with the ash down the head and cabinet that I have, because Geezer was endorsed and is endorsed by Ashdown, which is the same rig, amp, brand that I play. So I get a pretty close, it, Mike.
Oh, sure.
I get kind of that depthy sound.
Yeah.
And I'm looking to, what we're working on it right now is I want to get the 𝓕𝓻𝓪𝓷𝓻𝓫, which he's designed through Ashdown signature. It's the 𝓕𝓻𝓪𝓷𝓻𝓫, dude.
Mhm.
Oh my God, dude. I want that thing so bad. I would sound like ridiculous in the tribute act if I had that head. And I'm working on getting it because I've already checked it out. And I'm like, you know what?
It's
I
already
think I wanna
coming.
get
You
this.
just keep watching those 1111s. They'll lead you right to it.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Well,
you're right, Haleigh. 100%. 100%.
Yeah. Well, I did have a question about Night's Reign. I was going to ask you, what's your favorite Rainbow, Black Sabbath, and Dio song to play live?
Oh my God. Well, favorite
Let's
Black
hear it.
Sabbath is going to have to be Heaven and Hell. Okay. With Dio. You're asking me with Dio involved, right? Okay.
Yeah.
Rainbow would have to be Man of Silver Mountain.
Yep.
For sure. And then, of course, Dio. Well, I got like a lot of Dio stuff. And of course, Holy Divers is signature main one.
I love Stand Up and Shout.
But yeah, kill it.
That's a great song.
We rock. Kick yeah. There's so many of them. If I had to pick one, dude, I think Don't Talk to Strangers has a lot of dynamics and it's heavy. And that's also a big signature track from him.
I remember the first time I heard Mob Rules. Mob Rules. When you listen to fools, the Mob Rules. Man, is that badass.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
I love it.
Oh. It's a loaded question because I love a lot of Dio. Playing a tribute act if I didn't love it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I know. But
and I'll play everything to those songs. We play Stand Up.
This guy is phenomenal.
We rock. We play Egypt. We play Don't
Love
Talk to Strangers. Heaven and Hell. That's our end of our freaking show song is Heaven and Hell.
I would say what two of my favorite songs to play is I love to play Sleepless Nights by King, and then King Diamond, and then I like to play Dirty Black Summer, Danzig.
Wow, right.
Yeah.
Danzig, man.
That's a fun tune. It's just slowed down. It's just
Danzig, man.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's Danzig. Yep, that's Danzig.
That's of 𝓕𝓻𝓪𝓷𝓻𝓪 album.
Yep.
Yeah, well, I like Danzig, dude.
Danzig's Twisted
King. Very cool guy.
Yeah,
I got to meet him a couple times.
It's
really?
A heavy metal blues.
Yeah, I've seen him live. I've never met him. But
So
he's very personable, very nice guy, man. He'll take his time with you.
Yeah, for sure.
We kind of wanted to ask you guys about that, so you've obviously, Marky Z with your podcast, and then Mike, working with him in these realms. Talk to us a little bit about maybe, because let's just say like somebody rock and roll like y'all, right? Like the personalities of the people that you work with, right? Like, is there anyone that you've met that would like really surprise you by like who they were in person?
Is there anyone I met that
like
would surprise me?
That,
like how they were?
Like how they were.
Star?
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I've met several and had them on my interviews. And one I'd have to say that would stick out would be Nathan East, who played bass for Eric Clapton and still does since 1982. He co-wrote Easy Lover with Phil Collin and a love song from Michael Jackson and done many other projects. He still tours with Eric Clapton. And when I met him, he's the most humblest guy I've ever met. He does not act like a rock star at that level of the Beatles, Pink. He also is friends with Ringo Starr, friends with Paul McCartney, did an album with Paul McCartney. I mean, he sent me videos of, hey, Marky, I'm hanging out at Paul McCartney's house. I'm recording. I'm like, this is insane. You know, and I'm like, and the guy does not act like he's above nobody. Okay, that's one. You know, and then of course 𝓕𝓻𝓪𝓷𝓴𝓲'𝓼. I've had him on my show more than once. The original guitar player wrote "Turn Up the Radio," killer freaking song. Made the top 100. Nicest guy in the world. Very intelligent. Killer guitar player. Personally, I think he's better than Eddie Van Halen.
Yeah.
Oh, I love it. Very good. Mike, how about you? Like, what are maybe some personalities you ran into that really stood out to you?
I've got to meet Lemmy, and Lemmy is Lemmy. He is who he is, and he's, you know, he's a very kind, very cool guy who lets take pictures with you and sign autographs. And when I first met him, I was starstruck. I even got my Motorhead tattoo.
His favorite.
Nice, I love
for 9
it.
years, I had the Lemmy Motorhead mustache, just like Lemmy.
Yeah.
I met. Let's see. Oh God. I met Pantera. Rex Brown, he stuck out. He kissed me on top of the forehead after that. I met him in the stairwell of the bus, and he was fun to talk with.
I was gonna say, if you're 6'7", he had to have been standing on some stairs to be able to get to the top of your head.
But let me tell you, the man that I got to meet that was very like wow was 𝓕𝓻𝓪𝓷𝓴𝓲. You know, of Twisted Sister. I mean, his personality, his vibrato, his rock and roll spirit, man. He you know, like, and I said, I remember being a little kid watching you come strutting through the courtroom to defend censorship and how wrong it is against, you know, and explain about how heavy metal music and heavy metal lyrics, you know, granted, some of this stuff goes over the top. Other things, there's more in depth to it, and D was trying to explain that, you know, in that interview, you know, not all metalheads are morons. We have there's a lot more involved with it. It's not all just, you know, drinking and throwing up and carrying. I mean, that's for some. That's for some. You know, some people. But
time and place for it.
𝓕𝓻𝓪𝓷𝓴𝓲, Twisted Sister was a lot of fun to meet. You know, you know, just. Wow, man, you know,
and I love that, and I kind of, you know, appreciate that aspect of it, because like it's kind of the same thing. Like, obviously, looking at you two, you're like rock and roll dudes. You got the get up, you got the look.
Yeah,
and
for
like,
sure.
You know, Mike, obviously, you're a big dude. Like, people might think that you were intimidating, right? But
very much so. Very much so.
But like,
even when I had haircuts, I still look intimidating. You know.
Well, but it's one of those things, though. Like, you know, don't judge a book by its cover, because look at how rad and how chill y'all are, and you like definitely hang out kind of people. Like, you know,
just get to know us. We're not the bad guys. We're the good guys. In fact, we're the kind of guys that we make the music that you people like to listen to. You know what I mean? And we're just expressing ourselves through long hair and jewelry and.
Like on the music, 11/11, man, we got songs that people can relate to.
Yes,
like struggle for success. That song is about struggling to
for
get
every
somewhere.
band that's out there trying to make something. You know, struggling to get somewhere. Just listen to us for 5 minutes.
And then after 5 words. That's about us going every day on battle on stages, because you don't know how people are going to react if you're a new freaking heavy metal, hard rock band, or whatever you're doing, until you step out on that stage and see what happens.
Yes.
And they hear you. That's Amplified Warriors. Then we got Heavy as the Metal. It's like an anthem song. It's the last song, the 11th song on the album. We decided to put it because we got crowds cheering in the beginning. We did like the Kiss thing. You got crowds cheering, Heavy as the Metal. It sounds like people all screaming it, and it goes into their song. And then it ends. That's the end of the album for 11/11.
And then I wrote a song that it's very dear to my heart, and it's called My Weirdo Rock Friends. This is about you, me, us, them, everybody. It's about being at the concert, meeting new people, rocking out with people. It's about your past friends, your people of today, and people you're going to meet tomorrow.
Yes.
You know?
That's what it is.
And it's like, you know, the metal community and things of that nature. And we're all weirdos, man, because we don't fit into society. You know?
The biggest 11/11 tracks that got us all involved with the Zzoogu project is Shut Up, Voices in Our Head. That was written about people that suffer from paranoid schizophrenia, bipolar, all that stuff, which Mike
PTSD
he deals with that, and so does Anthony, who is our engineer. He suffers it bad.
Yeah.
And we were more than honored when he asked us to be part of this.
It's nothing to be ashamed of, man. I have it. I've been dealing with it since I was 18.
So
I take my meds, you know, and I'm thankful for it.
So we wrote a song called
I
"Shut
got good
Up."
brothers.
Voices in My Head, and that song is exactly about that. He provided us the drummer, Jules, one of his friends. The rest is all 𝓕𝓻𝓪𝓷𝓻𝓭. And I played all the guitar. I sang it. I had my girlfriend guest 𝓕𝓻𝓪𝓷𝓴𝓲'𝓼 on the chorus of it. And that's a freaking, you'll probably love that song because that drumming on there sounds like 𝓿𝓻𝓪𝓷𝓭.
It's aggressive.
It's that
aggressive.
kind of aggressive drumming, like Foo Fighters.
Really, and then when he belts out the lyrics, when he's singing it, man, he's like right to the point, man. And the lyrics that I contributed to it, man, it's you know.
But that started the whole journey.
Oh, I'll give it a listen for sure.
Project and getting involved with the rock solid talent entertainment supporting AMG and Sony because Anthony Albanese heard what we were doing, heard the song, and decided I want to produce you guys. And I started sending him music, and now he's going to produce our whole entire album. And the with my girlfriend as well, which is also a different style music, which I want to talk about that too, because her style music is like the likes of Stevie Nicks meets
Pat
Benatar, or
like the rockin'.
But she's got her own unique vibrato, the way she sings. I never heard anything the way she sings. It's different, but yet it's got the level of those artists. Okay, and the music is different than 𝓕𝓻𝓪𝓷𝓼. Even though I'm composing it, it's a different style genre because she's not a big heavy metal head. She loves it, but that's not what she wants to sing. So I had to put myself in a different mode when writing the music for her and creating it. I was able to do that. I'm a very versatile musician. I can write just about anything. Okay, well, that's the way to be in this business. You get more work and you get more opportunities. But if you're just heavy metal, hard rock, and that's it, well, then you just limit yourself like this. But when you can be versatile, then your spectrum is beyond. Okay, because you're not limited. All right.
Well,
that's what her stuff is 𝓕𝓻𝓪.
Yeah, like in my past band, I'm out of this band currently, but like our bass player, he was a huge blues and Jimi Hendrix guy, and then our guitar player was a big punk guy, current and past, like the Clash, and then like Pennywise and stuff like that. And then I was a big metal guy, and then we kind of all just mashed that. But my style is I kind of play whatever I want. Like there's songs that I have jazz beats. There's songs that I have techno beats. And it's all metal and hard rock music, but I can find places for it to fit. Like there's one where I have like almost like a disco beat. It's like a hi-hat rock.
I could play it.
But yeah, it's like it's just how I heard it. You know what I mean? It's just kind of how I heard it at the time. It's like this would kind of be cool. I embrace the weird. So it's kind of the way I write, it's not really defined by a genre. I just kind of write whatever. You know what I mean? I try to fit it in somewhere. Yep, exactly.
I was gonna say, you guys are kind of that way where you just follow where the project is going and what is right for like the.
Well, we still keep some kind of formula.
Yep, you try to define it in a genre.
Still keep some kind of formula. You can't be all over the place.
Yep. You got it.
Going with it. But it does have differences in the styles of some of the music in the 𝓕𝓻𝓪𝓷𝓼 project. Now, 𝓕𝓻𝓪𝓷𝓼, that's got its own formula, which kind of stays around the same thing because she's for that kind of pop, rock, R&B kind of thing. But it has a little bit of a metal attitude to it because I'm the one composing it. So it's exactly what you're talking about, 100%. Okay? Yes. I understand what you're saying.
Yeah, for sure.
Absolutely.
Yep. I was going to ask you guys, too, is there any road story, good or bad, that you could share with us?
Road story.
Some favorite road story.
Yeah, something that comes to mind, like your personal memory.
Something my experience.
Yep, your experience.
Well, yeah. I could talk about Pete Resty when he got so freaking drunk. And we were up, I forget we were playing with Crown of Earth, my original metal band. I've toured with 8 years, but I'm no longer with them. He was the actual stagehand for Black Sabbath and Dio, Rainbow, Man of War, and Deep Purple, and many others. He also did several Judas Priest tours. He also did guitar teching for Tony Iommi, Richie Blackmore, Randy Rhoads for 2 years. This guy has done it all.
He's been
and
around.
He became my friend. I met him on LinkedIn. I met him on Facebook. And then I finally got him to come over from the UK and was doing music and touring with us, helping us, 𝓕𝓻𝓪𝓷𝓴𝓲 for almost 3 years. Okay? Now, he's an alcoholic. And this is going to blow your mind. We're over there at Mike's house where I practiced with 𝓕𝓻𝓪𝓷𝓴𝓲 at the time. And Pete's there. And Mike pours a fucking glass this big, almost more than half of it, with freaking 190 proof grain alcohol. And Pete just grabs it and goes,
oh my God,
thing down. And he's like, Jesus Christ, dude. He says, that's pretty good stuff. He didn't even get messed up. He didn't even get much of a buzz. He said that stuff would knock over a rhino.
Yeah.
Which is just strength, dude. That's one of my experiences I got to say about rock and roll with a guy who's been there. He's been there.
That's pretty intense.
In the very beginning. You don't get more rock and roll than that. Okay? And that was something I experienced. I was like, dude, you were hardcore rock and roll, man. Yeah, I mean, really, dude.
Yeah, for sure.
That would be a good one to share that I experienced.
Yeah, that's pretty intense. Mike, how about you?
I can remember one down in Delaware. Let's see. Yeah, 𝓕𝓻𝓪𝓷𝓴𝓲, like I was saying, how with makeup and our own costumes and whatnot.
I love 𝓕𝓻𝓪𝓷𝓴𝓲, by the way, as a name. It's just so fun. You guys got some creative names and stuff going on. I dig it.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Yeah. Well, we were hungry and we went into the diner. Okay, and once again they were like, "What? Just walk through the damn door." You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And we didn't have a dime to our name. Like we had just enough for maybe like a BLT or something like that with a glass of water. I mean, we were starving. We didn't get paid zip or anything.
Starving artist.
But my man Bob, somebody there left a plate of steak fries with the table next to it, right? He picked up the leftover food and just started eating it, man. It was great. And we're like, yeah, man, go with it. Why let the food go to waste, you know?
That's so punk rock.
Yeah, it was punks, you know, you got to eat where you can, you know?
Yeah.
It's like Johnny Rock.
Yeah, exactly right.
I love it.
It was a plate of steak fries and it was barely untouched. And he just started eating them. I'm like, pop on.
Yeah, do what you gotta do.
I'm for it, man. That's so funny. Like,
but I was the best thing was that we would strut into a normal environment, and you know, and then just the reactions people would get because, like I said, with the makeup, the work, and the black circles and everything, you know, on my eyes.
Now I got something I can share with them. It's pretty awesome. I got the train. We got an opportunity to play in Delaware at a festival. It's like a Grateful Dead type of thing, but also like Southern rock. And we got to be the supporting act to play before Artemis Pyle and his 𝓕𝓻𝓪𝓷𝓴𝓲 Band.
Yeah.
And let me tell you, I never knew Artemis Pyle, the drummer from 𝓕𝓻𝓪𝓷𝓴𝓲, who did the movie and everything, toured with 𝓕𝓻𝓲𝓪𝓷𝓴𝓲, like one of the most pivotal career concerts they played. Even the Rolling Stones one, where they said, don't go on the tongue. And they all did it on purpose to piss Jagger off.
Yep.
He told me all about it. But anyway, turns out that Artemis is a big Dio fan. Loves Dio. It's his favorite singer. Well, I got to sit there and say to him, Artemis, it's a pleasure to meet you and shake your hand, brother. I love 𝓕𝓻𝓪𝓷𝓴𝓲. And I said, man, you are the legendary drummer that played with 𝓕𝓻𝓪𝓷𝓴𝓲. He said, no, Marky, I'm just a drummer that played with a legendary band, 𝓕𝓻𝓻𝓪𝓷𝓴𝓲. That's what he said to me. And then I got the sound check with him on my bass with him playing drums. And let me tell you, it was 105 degrees. I'm not lying on that stage. And this guy's 75 freaking years old. And he's playing drums like Vinnie Paul, Pantera. I'm like, are you kidding me? 75.
I mean, but
God bless him.
When you follow your passion, that's what happens, right? Like that passionate energy keeps you rolling.
But to get there and sound check, because I had my bass on and he looked over me and said, I know what he wanted me to play something. So I just started playing a riff. And he started going on the drums, and they were sound checking them. I was like, "This is great! I'm freaking sick of sound checking with a major freaking legend, dude." You know what I'm saying?
Like
it was cool, man.
Like that's a kid's dream come true, right? Like when your inner child gets to like hang out and rock and roll and do the things that you thought were really cool. Like that's pretty awesome as an adult when you get to live that life.
Yeah, for sure.
Absolutely, man.
So we have a wrap up question we usually ask our guests. Seeing we're from the Dakotas, who is on both of your Mount Rushmore of musical influences or musicians? You can pick 4.
Your Mount Rushmore
influences?
Influences, be it bands or single musicians.
All right, I'll go with single musicians.
Okay.
Probably my number 1 bass players. Can I say more than 1?
Yeah, you got 4.
Okay. Would definitely be Geezer Butler, Steve Harrison bass, Randy Rhoads for guitar, Dimebag for guitar, Dave Mustaine for guitar, for sure. Vocally, Dio, hands down. Rob Halford, I love Judas Priest. I'm a big Priest fan. Bruce Dickinson, Iron Maiden.
Yep.
And then you got killer bass player that goes in a different realm of metal from Yes, because I love Yes. I'm a big Yes fan. And of course, I like vocally Ian Gill in the Purple.
Yep.
And rest in peace, Chris Squire. On the bass, he was unbelievable on bass.
Yeah.
Those are probably big influences. Oh, John Bonham drums for sure.
Cool, rad. And Mike, how about you?
What about you, Mike?
I'm going to go with 4 guitar players.
Okay.
First, it's going to be Dimebag Darrell, hands down.
Absolutely.
Followed by 𝓕𝓻𝓪𝓷𝓴𝓲, bass guitar. Jeff Hanneman of Slayer. I'm a huge Slayer fan.
Absolutely.
I always liked his style. Terry's cool, but I like Jeff. Jeff was a little more aggressive and disturbing. You get into the Slayer music. And
Slayer's drumming
I would have to say, let's see, what I pick? Dime, Lemmy, and Cliff Burton. Because when I first heard bass solo take 1, Anesthesia Pulling Teeth on Kill 'Em All, Metallica Kill 'Em All. Oh my God! Not only that, I love the song Orion from Metallica, and when I put that on, it's just like it sends me to into another universe.
Yeah.
And there's certain songs that I listen to certain seasons of the year. And Orion, I like to listen to that in the cold winter. When it's bleak out and there's nothing but the stars, and you're feeling all right, and there's nobody outside. I live in an apartment complex. I just, I open the window in the wintertime and let that cold air come in. And it just sets me right. And I'll tell you, I love Cliff Burton.
Yeah.
So I would say, those 4 guitar players.
All right.
Yeah. What's the joke with Cliff Burton? It was if he could go back and go back to the night that he died, he would ask Lars to switch seats with him.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
I got one thing I'd like to say before we close out, if that's all right.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And this has never happened in my life ever, and I was speechless. One of the songs that's going to be on our 11/11 album is going to feature my girlfriend, Judy Capizzi, is called Thoughts of You.
Oh.
And she wrote this song about me. I never had no woman ever write a song about me. Okay? And let me tell you, it's an 𝓕𝓻𝓪𝓷𝓴𝓲'𝓼 type tune. She sings the first verse. No, I sing the first verse. She sings the second, and we sing the chorus together.
Oh, I love it.
It's Joe Riley on lead guitar and Jimmy Catone on drums. Okay. She wrote the lyrics. It's called Thoughts of You. It will be featured on the 11/11 album. And I'll tell you what, I was just like,
just one more time, do tell everyone again. I'll have all your stuff in the links, but just for folks listening too, tell everybody where to find y'all. Tell us.
As far as Anointed Prophecy right now is the only thing available until the 𝓢𝓾𝓹 project is up and running. And then there will be a playlist for 11/11 and Judea music that everybody can listen to. And we could put links there for them to purchase things when it's ready. But right now, Anointed Prophecy, you can find me on my record official label site, which is 𝓕𝓻𝓪𝓷𝓻𝓽.com/Anointed Prophecy. No slashes. all lowercase. That's the official
Okay.
page for the record label. And then, of course, we will have another one with the 𝓕𝓻𝓪𝓷𝓴𝓲 project that's coming and supposed to launch next Friday.
Yep.
And that will have 𝓕𝓻𝓪𝓷𝓻𝓪, 𝓕𝓻𝓪𝓷𝓴𝓲 prophecy, and Judea on that. So all the projects will be available on that site as well. Of course, I've got my own Facebook where you can go and follow and like Anointed Prophecy. I will be putting together pages for 𝓕𝓻𝓪𝓷𝓻 and Judea very soon as things get closer. And we got another surprise that's coming up, and I don't want to reveal it yet, but it's to do with somebody who's worked with some major people that's very interested, as we have a deadline of about 6 weeks, Mike.
That's correct. That is correct.
So you'll be coming back and being on the podcast, telling us a good update in a couple in 6 weeks or so.
That could be a possibility. All I can tell you is the person that we're talking about has worked with Joan Jett and the Blackhearts. He's worked with he's worked with 𝓕𝓻𝓪𝓷𝓻. He's worked with Lady Gaga, Madonna, Billy Idol. It goes on. Okay. This guy's got 32
gold record
platinum status, producing and marketing. I keep up with him on a 2-week basis as progress is on the 𝓕𝓻𝓪𝓷𝓻 and the project for Judea. And he's excited and he's looking forward to helping us any way possible. I'm just saying, I don't want to say much more until things come into fruition, but that is in the works right now. And this is major, involved with the business. And he's waiting on these projects. So we're excited about this opportunity for sure.
What about you, Mike? You have anything to add? Any Facebooks, anything?
Yeah.
No, I'm not very computer illiterate. I'm more I'm more of a caveman myself. I just like to be creative. I like to make my own clothes. You know what I mean?
That's cool.
You know, like for instance, it's like this shirt here. It's a bandana, and I cut it out and then I safety pinned it on, so it's like even more metal.
Yeah.
You know,
Very cool.
As far as like computer jazz and all that. Now, I just like to make music. I like to write music. You know, lyrics.
Yep.
Marky here, I call him the mad scientist because he's always creating, he's always hacking away at the keys here, and it's like, don't get near him unless you know he's trying to do a thing.
Don't interrupt the scientist. Well,
that's right.
He likes to put it to it like I'm back there like a mad scientist
building a Frankenstein.
Dials.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah, and I'm his assistant. You know, I'm his assistant.
And then I'm there to hear what I've done, and he's like, "Holy crap!"
Yeah.
Love it.
Well, I did want to. I told my buddy I would plug his. He just opened a high-end guitar shop in the Minneapolis area, and they're called the Shred Den. If you're looking for anything from, I bought 2 USA Jacksons from them. They have custom built Moser circuit, BC Riches. They got pretty much everything you're looking for. They sell basses to high-end guitars, everything from probably $600 to $10,000.
Nice.
They're called the Shred Den. They're in Osage, Minnesota, and shredden.net is where you
love it.
Go buy a pedal. Go buy a guitar. Support them.
Yeah, man.
Support all of your awesome musician peeps. And I just want to say thank you guys so much for joining us. This has been so much fun.
It's a lot of fun.
I love talking rock and roll. I got to tell you. So just the first concert I ever went to was a Kiss concert when I was 11 because my dad was rad. My dad was rad. So I got to say my dad's on the other side of the veil, but I know he's been watching all this whole time and really loving this stuff and talking rock and roll with you guys. So thank you so much for joining us.
Bless you.
It's super cool.
Thanks for having me.
Peace. Peace and love.
Absolutely.
Peace and love. Thanks, y'all. Hey, thanks so much for listening, y'all. I've been Haleigh.
And I've been Jonny.
And this has been Jonny, Haleigh, Day of Fun. Thanks so much for listening. Check us out on Patreon, patreon.com/JonnyHaleighDOF. And we're JonnyHaleighDOF on Instagram and at gmail.com. Send us your hate mail. We'll read it out loud on the podcast, won't we, Jonny?
For sure.
Awesome. Thanks for listening. Peace out, y'all.
Later.
Special thanks to the Parapost Network for the support of their community. Check out all the great podcasts on the Parapost Network on Facebook.